They just went with hedonism. Whatever feels right is right. Whatever the government says is right. Whatever Dr. Fauci says is right. Whatever is the current thing to support, I'm going to support it. All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Let's party. I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Evil Genius and Captain Paul of the Talkin Sh podcast. I said it like that for you too, but search it with the real word. Good friends of the channel. Definitely go check them out. But you may have noticed I haven't really talked about this Hogwarts game, even though it's been all the rage. And they did, and they said it so well, so I figured I'm gonna just steal exactly what you're saying and check it out. So again, thank you so much to the guys over at the Talkin Sh podcast, TSP. Let's do it.
Captain Paul from TSP. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of the month. Let's just get into this wild, man. Just might as well call me a transphobe, call me a bigot, call me someone that you absolutely hate. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Hogwarts Legacy getting flamed by the vocal minority for people that stream and play the game.
So that's basically the story. I'm sure you've heard about it, but because of the online discourse that J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter books, has been determined a TER.F, a trans-exclusionary radical feminist, basically just believing that there's only two different genders, that, you know, being trans doesn't change your biology, all that kind of stuff. And even though she didn't even have much to do with this game, and the gamers are saying this is actually a really good game, people are saying if you play it, you're transphobic.
Let me give a little bit of a backstory to understand what's going on here. J.K. Rowling has had some comments regarding the trans community that they do not look highly upon. They call her a TER.F, and due to her creating Hogwarts, people do not want her receiving money from this video game selling extremely well. Which, funny enough, in the video game itself, they have a transgender person.
I didn't even know that. They have a trans person in the game. I read the first few books when I was that age, and there was no trans people. And so maybe they came in the later books, but what else do you want?
And the executive producer said she had nothing to do with this game.
So the executive producer saying that J.K. Rowling had nothing to do with the game.
You get representation, you get acknowledged, you get a wink and a nod, and you still complain. And this is to the point for me where I'm just done with this ridiculous pandering and trying to fall to the mob.
What else can you do? You can try to be inclusive and add people and representation and all that, but if it's never enough, then why keep trying?
If you are shutting down people or shouting down people for ingesting media that they enjoy because a creator that's not even involved with the project had some quotes that might have rustled your jimmies a little bit, you need to grow the up. I'm gonna have a hot take here, but it's really a cold truth, and I mean this, liberals. You need to listen to this when I say it.
All right, liberals, listen up to Captain Paul here.
Liberals, you are turning into exactly how the Republicans were a couple decades ago about violent video games.
That is absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. And why is that? Why is it? Well, the religious right from the 90s and you know, right around that time, were stuck on the dogma of their religion, and they would see violent video games and music that didn't talk about things that they liked, and they thought that they had to get rid of it out of society. Not only could they not just partake, you weren't allowed either. Now, of course, most of these activists are probably atheists, just like myself, except that instead of replacing the religion that they grew up on, or if they didn't grow up with it, replacing that lack of hierarchical structure of values with values in a hierarchy, they just went with hedonism. Whatever feels right is right. Whatever the government says is right. Whatever Dr. Fauci says is right. Whatever is the current thing to support, I'm going to support it because that must be right. And everybody else who doesn't think exactly like me is awful, is horrible, is evil, is an evil right-winger racist transphobe.
It's tiring. It's annoying. Not every video game, not every single person has to placate to your worldview. And funny enough, the one game that actually has a transgender character in it, you fucking boycott. Doesn't make sense. I've had a few left-leaning friends of mine boycott the game, saying anti this, anti that, and fine. If you
I would love to have a conversation with those people, Cap, because I don't think I could be friends with anybody who would legitimately care that much about this. Not because they care about it, but if that's the way that you look at the world, you're probably not going to get along very well.
You don't want to ingest the material that is given to you because you do not agree with J.K. Rowling's views. That is your right to do so.
Don't play it.
But to go out of your way, harass people, bully people, hate watch the streams, and just constantly harass these content creators, it's a joke. And for those people that will take the grandstanding thing, oh, well,
you're just a transphobe if you enjoy this game.
like, shut the fuck up. You're an idiot. Honestly. The world would be a better place if your dad pulled out. And that's just the cold truth. Let's get in.
Captain Paul goes hard. He goes hard. Let's listen a little bit more. And then definitely I want you guys to check out their video. So I'm going to link it in the description. Please check them out.
Into an overarching discussion regarding this. The vocal minority is just ridiculous at this point. It's just tiring. They want to be in everything. They want to be in every single sport. They want to be in every single video game. They want you to placate to their agenda.
And that's the basic part of it that really makes this an issue, is that they are demanding of you how to act and how to think. Not just how to act, but how to think. At least the religious right isn't saying that everybody needs to be Christians. I mean, they would like it, but they're not saying that you have to be. Whereas the trans activist people and a lot of people on the left say that you do have to think exactly what they think. You have to accept their ideology. Otherwise, you are a bad person. That is not going to bode well for your for whatever goals you have. Whatever goals you have, this is not it. This is not the way. Let me know, guys. Have you played this game? I'm not really a gamer, but have you played it? How good is it? Is it something worth boycotting just for J.K. Rowling? Even if you were really against J.K. Rowling, is that big of a deal? What am I missing here? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for partying with me, guys. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, I am out of here. Peace.